Today, I think we should talk a little bit about the top level space name and the whole auction process. Before we get into that, though, I saw something just this morning that I thought might be interesting, and this kind of goes back to something that we talked about in a prior episode. I'm going to share my screen here.
Sure.
And let's see. So this is Spaces Protocol website, the main website. If you're interested, go to Spaces Protocol, Spaces with an S, protocol.org. And there's this newsletter that comes out called Bitcoin Ops, Bitcoin OpTech. And in the recent one, it's talking about some recent statistics posted to this delving site. Now, it's very deep. Maybe I'll bring it up in another tab.
I haven't heard of this. Is this a website or is this a you have to sign up for email?
It's a website, but they do an email thing, and it gets into very low level stuff. But this it gets summarized in this little newsletter they put out, and basically it's saying, okay. Somebody's done some actual stats. Now that Bitcoin Core 30, now this is the one that everybody was in the uproar about, right? Because the core Bitcoin team seemingly kind of on their own decided to lift the size limit of how much data you can put in the op return of a transaction. Now, why do we care? We care because Spaces Protocol uses this mechanism to store key information about things like bidding, things like who owns what, and stuff like that. So if they were to say, no more, we're not going to do that anymore, it would definitely have an impact. Now, I don't think we're there, but this whole discussion kind of raged online in the Bitcoin community about that's crazy, that's going to encourage spam and like large people putting like, these big NFTs and images and potentially offensive material on the Bitcoin blockchain. And once it gets there, anyone who's running a node, the whole premise behind running your own node is that you have a copy of everything. So inadvertently, you're getting everything that's put on the blockchain. And that may not be for various legal reasons, jurisdictional reasons, may not. And plus just the size of storage. The more stuff that's on there, the more storage it takes, and you're paying for that storage. So anyway, there was this discussion, but since now that this version that lifted that limit has been in the wild, for a while, we've got some statistics because the folks that were against this were advocating for using the version of Bitcoin that is called NOTs, that has a lot more dials where you can tune it, and that the defaults that NOTs was putting out was reminiscent of the prior sort of limits that were in prior version of the Bitcoin Core. So we would effectively be going back to the way it was, and why this is interesting is because now that we've had a version that has that limit lifted, the question is like, well, what's the actual behavior? What are people actually doing? Mm. And so it goes into, and I'll just touch on a couple of these things. But like, and when was this? I think the block, so this was from block ranges from 915,000 to 936. So it's recent, in this recent time period, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So,
recent. Yep.
So 24 million transactions had any op return output. 61 actually had more than one, so multiple op return outputs. And only 396 transactions had an op return with an output size greater than 83 bytes.
Wow.
So these were ones that that would have been blocked had the limit not been lifted. So out of 24 million, 396 wouldn't have qualified. And then, but that's just the number. And then it says the total size of the data included in these op returns was basically 473 megabytes, which returns for 0.044% of the blockchain data. And this thing was interesting. I'm not sure exactly how to interpret it. There are 34,283 transactions burning sats to op return outputs. Is that us?
Yes, yeah, that covers Spaces Protocol, yeah.
Yeah, for a total of 1,463,000 sats burnt. 1,000,1463. If I go back here to Explorer, 1,000,053.
Right, because that's
I don't know.
That's 150, 100 million, whatever it is, right? One Bitcoin's 100 million Satoshis.
100 million. Yeah. Oh, right. Okay, I got my decimals shifted by 3. All right, so fine. Okay, so pretty trivial then. This in today's prices is what? This is about $800, maybe. Is that right? Something
Not
like
much.
that. Anyway, so 943,000 transactions between 40. Okay, these are transactions between the kind of two limits that have been been seen in the past. So anyway, don't know exactly if this impinges or means anything other than I think it speaks to a broader, the thing that you guys were so worried about happening hasn't happened. Like there has been no huge use and abuse of this op return limit being lifted. And we can provably say that now. Now that could change, right?
Right.
There could be another wave of interest of like ordinals or something like that. Or, another application use that's, quote, non-monetary could be introduced that has huge data requirements. So that's not like, it's not like the potential for abuse has gone away. It's just saying that it doesn't seem to have been abused since all this kerfluffle was brought up.
Yeah,
so anyway.
You could look at it two ways. You could say, well, nobody's using it, so it's not a big deal. It was overblown. People aren't abusing it. And then the other side could be, well, nobody's using it, so why the heck did you raise it anyway, right? So you can look at it both sides.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, we won't get into all the palace intrigue from the core team stuff.
That's a cool site. I'm going to check that site out.
Yeah. Oh, I could, let me...
BitcoinOps.org?
Yeah, BitcoinOps.org.